Hey everybody, it's Ian the Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. Today I'm going to be making this card. It is a flashy, bright, shiny card that I think is going to be a lot of fun for my recipient to get out of the envelope. So let's go ahead and see how I put it together. Today I'm going to be combining a whole bunch of items to create the card. Remember, you don't have to just use one specific stamp company to do the whole card. You can mix, you can match, you can do all sorts of different things. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this one. So I'm going to be using a stamp set from Maymay Made It, which is Maymay's Tulips. I always have trouble saying that one because it sounds like I'm saying tulip, like the flower, but anyways, Tulips. I'm also going to be using Stampers Anonymous, the Bird Crazy stamp set, and the coordinating die set. I'm also going to be using cardstock that I learned about from my friend Jeff Lindbergh on one of his live videos. I'll link to his channel up in the iCards, but it is the Aaron Lee Creative Cardstock Cuts. It is a beautiful, what is this, like, it's not metallic, there's another word for it and I can't remember, like prismatic? No, that's not it. But anyways, it's really cool paper and we'll show that a little bit later. And then I'm also going to be using the Lawn Fawn Speech Bubble backdrop to make today's card. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Let's go ahead and get started with the first part of the card, and that is going to be stamping everything out. Okay, now that I've gotten my stamps pretty much arranged where I want them, so I'm going to stamp both of these images out where they are, but I'm using two different kinds of stamps. You can do that, just remember to start with your taller stamp first. So I've gone ahead and flipped my Tim Holtz stamp platform lid over to the rubber side because the rubber sticks up higher than the clear clean stamps. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up with Versamark ink. After I pick up my bird image here. I use this bird so much. This is like one of two birds that I use all the time, but I can't help it because it's just so darn cute, and it needs to be obviously cleaned because it's like coming up off of the door, but that's okay because I can reposition it without too much worry. I am going to use my We Are Memory Keepers anti-static powder tool and just brush that on. So that way I don't get any powder where I don't want it for this image. And that Versamark does stay pretty wet for a while, so I don't have to worry about it too much. I think it's gonna go right about there if I remember correctly. Let's see if I can get that stuck back down again. Yeah, that'll work. So I'm gonna just nicely press on it, make sure that I'm getting all those details on it, which I should be. And I can tell already that I've gotten a good impression, so I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna go ahead and take the bird stamp off, and I'm gonna flip the lid over to the clear side so that way I can pick up my clear stamp. And once again, I'm gonna use my anti-static powder tool just to make sure that nothing sticks where I don't want it to. So I'm gonna do that really quickly, and again, I'm gonna ink it up with Versamark ink and get it ready to stamp. Okay, I've got both my images stamped up nicely, so now I'm going to use some Ranger embossing powder in white. This is fine detail embossing powder, so I'm just going to dump it over my images, and then I will heat emboss this so that it's nice and white and shiny, and get it ready to trim out. Okay, I've gone ahead and cut out my little bird using the Sizzix coordinating dies. I need to use these more. They were expensive, but they're so worth it because they get such great cuts, and I really like the way that the embossing powder picked up every detail on this bird. So I think it works really, really well. I just realized that I need to make another die cut. I just realized I put my die cutting tool away and I wasn't done yet, so I'm gonna pull it back out so that way I can cut one more die cut. Alright, so I've cut this Lawn Fawn Speech Bubble backdrop die using some, I think this is 110 pound cardstock, at least that's what it feels like. I just have a stash that is left over whenever I make cuts and stuff, and so I just went in and grabbed one. I think that's what that is, at least that's my guess. So I've done that, and now it's kind of time to start assembling everything and get the whole card put together. Holographic paper, that's the word I was looking for earlier, was holographic. I have my holographic paper all cut out. It is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm gonna take some of my glue dots and I'm going to glue down, this is not glue dots, sorry, this is a adhesive runner, but I'm gonna go ahead and run adhesive all along, as much of this as I can. It has a lot of holes in it, so I'm just kind of covering most of the area, but it doesn't have to be like 100% perfect. Okay, I glued down my die cut on top of the holographic paper, and now I'm going to take the holographic paper and tape it down to the front of my card base. My card base is 110 pound Nina Solar White 110 pound cardstock. How many times can I say 110? I always seem to say it way too many times, but anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and apply this onto the front, just like this. And I went ahead and cut out my sentiment, and no, you don't need to adjust your screen. It did get cut out a little imperfect, but it's not a big deal. So what I'm gonna do now is I think I wanna have my bird down there in the corner and then have this somewhere up top. And I think I am going to add a little bit of foam adhesive onto my bird, just so that way it pops up a little bit. All right, I've taken my foam tape adhesive off, and I'm just gonna stick it, I think, right about here so that its little feet rest on what it kind of looks like ground, I guess. And now I'm gonna add some foam adhesive onto the back of my greeting. I kind of like it on the diagonal. I feel like if I was just to place it like even with the card, it just wouldn't work as well. So there we go, there's today's card. It's shiny, it's eye-catching, and it's simple, but it definitely makes a bold statement. I think I've been doing a lot of simple and clean cards lately because I want to boost my morale a little bit after all the failures that I've had recently. Many of you have reached out and said, no, those aren't failures, and I greatly appreciate that. So it's good to hear that my work isn't a failure, and even if you feel your work isn't a failure to somebody else, they have no idea and looks great. So always remember that. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up, let YouTube know that you like my video, and then hopefully they'll share it across YouTube land. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell notification icon to get great updates every time I post a new video or go live. I hope everybody has a great day, and remember guys, normal's just a setting on the dryer. Bye!